Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. It's Sandy, the Sunroom Stitcher, and it is Tuesday, October 17th. It's 12:45 in the afternoon. Hubby's at work. Puppies are outside. It's a gorgeous day outside. It's a gorgeous autumn day, and still most of the trees haven't started turning colors here. So we're having lows at night, like in the 30s and 40s, and it gets up to like 60 to 70 degrees in the day. So the trees should start en masse turning colors here soon. So how have all of you been? This is my 55th FlossTube video. And that's not counting the ones that were in, two parts. Sometimes that happens. So I can't believe it. 55. And it's been about, what, a year and a half now that I've been doing the FlossTube videos. And I've made some of the most wonderful friends. And I thank all of you for your warm and loving comments about my last video when I was having really a rough time around my brother's birthday. For those of you that don't know, my brother Rick, all of my siblings are younger than I am, but Rick was 19 months younger than I am, and May 17th, 2014, my brother Rick died, and that really left a huge hole in our family. So I love him and I miss him, and I feel so grateful that I had such a wonderful brother, because he did watch out for me, and he was a good brother. He was an awesome brother. So today I have 6 new subscribers, and I'd like to give them all a shout out. The first of which is Nostalgic Needlework. Hi, Nostalgic Needlework. So nice to have you. Then I have Rosemary Miller. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you for subscribing to this old fat face that likes to blather on and on. And then Cross Stitch Joy. Hi, Cross Stitch Joy. I love that. It is joyful, isn't it, in cross stitching. And Grace Andres. She got unsubscribed. Sometimes my understanding is that FlossTube unsubscribes you to certain channels. It's some kind of a technical thing. So if you stop getting notifications when from your favorite YouTube channels, check your settings and see if you're subscribed. Sometimes it'll boot you. So, but Grace, this is your second shout out. And Helen S. Hi, Helen. It's nice to meet you. And Debbie Martin. Hi, Debbie. Debbie Martin subscribed, and she had asked about stitching with the feathery or the fibers that you would make Santa beard out of, and she asked that on a video, the video where I showed you that I had finished the cross-eyed cricket Hershey Kiss that was a turkey. It was one of the projects that I had gotten when I went down to the Camp Wanaso, which is sponsored by the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a bit here. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is first of all, I guess what I'll do is the first thing I want to, I did not know that Michael's will text you coupons. Will text you their coupons, and I learned that just this past weekend, and I think that's really cool. So you can actually, they'll text it to your cell phone, and you can, rather than printing off your 40, 50, 60, 70% off coupons, they'll text them to you, and then you can just show that coupon when you go into Michael's on your cell phone. So I did want to mention that because I thought that was really, really cool. And the next thing that I wanted to address is, let's see here, the template contest. I have a contest, and actually it's gonna start right now. Well, it started on my last video, and it's gonna go through the 30th of June. And what it is you cut out a tag that's let's see, 4 inches tall and 2 5/8 wide. And I did just cut these little corners like that. Like, these are like what the luggage tags that get put on your luggage at the airport. And what you can cut out something like this on cardstock, and then you could or you could cut the tag out of perforated paper, out of fabric. If you cut it out of fabric, though, you're probably going to want to cut it a little bit wider so that you have some to fold over. And perforated paper, perforated plastic, and also if you have a die, what do they call those things? A die cutter. Some of them have like little dots that it'll, when you run it through the machine, it'll put like a cross stitch perforated paper kind of thing. But we're going to have a contest, and the contest is that you make your own pattern, or you could take elements from other patterns and create a unique tag for yourself. You can enter as many times as you want. You stitch it, and you send me a picture, and I am going to create a blog called The Sisterhood of the Sunroom Stitchers, and I will put all of the pictures of the tags that are submitted to me on that blog, and then what we'll do is beginning on July 1st and going for 2 weeks, I'm going to ask all of my subscribers, or anybody on FlossTube, to take a look at them and to pick your favorite one, the one that appeals to you most. The person who gets the most votes will be the winner, and they will get a prize. And so you would consider this to be like a blank canvas, but we're going to cross stitch on it, and you can use any fibers, any techniques, any buttons or charms or whatever, but you're going to make up one of these, and it would be well worth at least doing one, because it's really, I think the prize package is growing and growing. I've already got some stuff in there, and I'm going to show them to you. First of all, this is a box I've had a while, and it got a little bummed up in the trunk of the car. But I'm going to fill this box up with cross stitch or supplies and such like that. And what it says is, there's joy to be found in every single day, and especially if you stitch. And of course, it's got a nice little interior, and it is just cardboard. I got this at the Dollar General store. These are some of the things that I have in it. Now, there might be a second place prize, and some of these things might end up being part of a second place prize. The first thing that I found at the Dollar Tree was this really cool little notebook, and it's got little colored, like, plastic tabby twos. Blue, green, and red, pink, maybe, I don't know. Can you see those? Not really good. Let's try this. Can you see them now? Yeah, you can see them better this way. But I thought this was the neatest little notebook. And there's 150 rolled sheets. So this could be like, you could use it for anything, but I was thinking of cross-stitch stuff. Then I found this little notebook, and I love this. It's a journal. They call it a journal. Let's see here. It's got a bird on it. And the saying is, set your thoughts free. And there are 60 sheets, lined sheets in there. I thought that was neat. I like that. And then we got 90 buttons in 4 different sizes. Well, I guess there's only 2 sizes. But I thought, you know, those are really nice. You could use them in your stitching when you finish your into a pillow, or you could use them in your stitching and make it like the center of your piece, so your center of your flower. But there's blue, pink, purple, and yellow buttons. I like these. I don't know, I think I may go get myself another package just for me. Then I have this little tiny stylus. See if it shows up here. And it's got one of these little plastic hooby-dooby things, and it plugs into your where you would speak your into your where your speaker jack is on your cell phone, and it will not speaker jack, but your earplug things. And it's really handy there, because if you fat finger things like me, I also am going to put in, and I don't have it with me, but a plastic mascara brush, which is a really great tool for when you have to rip things out, and you know how you leave the little fibers behind. You can use your mascara brush to, you run it over the fabric, and it'll sort of pick those up. This one is a really great prize, and I absolutely love it. It's the Pansy Ice Cube by Just Nan, and it has, this is what I love. Come on. So there's the picture of it, and it comes with that really fancy hat pin. And it comes with the little buttons and charms. There's a big flower and little buttons in there. So that's going in the basket. And this is beautiful. The Charm Garden pins. But she always has great directions and great diagrams in her patterns, which help you. Well, there are no diagrams. Well, there's one diagram, the Smyrna cross. But I love, and this is a nice big pattern. And it looks like it's all stitched on one piece of fabric. So, and I'll probably be pulling fabric, not for this, but pulling fabric out just to put in the prize box. Because I have so much of it. And so that's, I think it's a pretty good prize box already. And we aren't even a month through. So let me put this back in. So anyways. And if anybody would like to contribute to the prize box, you're welcome to do that too. Just contact me. By emailing me, and my email address is always in the show notes section, so you can get a hold of me. Another thing that I have not finished, but it's going to go into the project box, is this is a cupcake holder. I found this at Hobby Lobby. I got it for half price, so I believe I paid $1.50 for it. But it's white metal, and it stands about, just a fraction over 4 inches tall. And the base is 2 inches, and I'm going to make this into a pincushion. And so that is going to go into the prize basket too. I've got some of the hand-dyed velour by, I don't remember who it is. I've got 4 different colors. And so I'm going to make a pincushion that sits in here. So it'll sit on your desk with your pins in it. You could put pretty pins in it or whatever. But that's going to be one of other of the prizes. So I'd like to win that too. Wow. Get to keep all that stuff. How about that? Okay. So what I have been up to this week, I've been busy stitching, and I'll share that with you. This is, and I set this down because, and I'll show you why in a minute, is I finished Peter Polar Bear, and I started on Mary the Mouse. But I'm really enjoying this. But Mary the Mouse, she's only got her snow down here at the bottom done, and her border. And actually this time doing this border, it took me 2 hours to do the border as opposed to a day or 2 days, which I had such problems, and I don't know why. I think maybe I'm finally getting the hang of it. But so that's my progress on, and this is the Brooks Books Advent Calendar Animals. And if you have not seen my previous video, I'm going to make each one of the, I think there's 25 of them, the 25 different animals. I'm going to make them each their own little ornament. And I actually have bought this fabric at Walmart. One is red and one is green, and the backs are going to alternate so that when I hang them from the doorway from the breakfast nook into the kitchen, or even from the entrance hallway to the dining room, that it'll be more interesting having the alternate colors, I think. So, and this was really pretty cheap. I think I paid like $3.27 a yard, and I got a half yard of each of these. So, and I think the colors just match perfectly with the reds and the greens in this series of animals. Now, they aren't going to be ready before Christmas, but that's okay. The next thing I found, because I am not the owner of a bunch of needle minders, but I found this little metal stand. It used to have like a piece of not plastic. What do they call that? Acrylic. A clear acrylic piece over the top for a picture frame. And I've put all my little magnets on it, my little needle minders. And I stored my... I've had this a long time. You can see that. Yeah, you can see that. It's also a ruler, which is really handy, but it goes into my PlayStation. And my PlayStation is... I love my PlayStation. I just absolutely love it. So I got that, and I think I paid $1.25 for that at the thrift shop. This thing is really cool. And this is a pretty saucer. And it's got the gold around it, and I thought it was so pretty. And I think you can see that there's actually, my needles are not falling off of it. Why is that, Sandy? I glued magnets to the bottom of it, and it is just a really cute, and they hold really good too on there. So that was another thing that I did. Then I had visited Priscilla's FlossTube channel, Real Housewives, the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, and it's Chelsea, her daughter, and Priscilla. And Priscilla works with Kathy Haberman and probably other designers, but Priscilla is the designer, not the designer, the artist of the chalkboard series. She does the drawings and sends them to Kathy Haberman at Hands-On Design, and Kathy charts them and then sends them back to Priscilla, and has Priscilla, tweak it or approve the colors and stuff like that. And I love those chalkboard series. I want the one with the pumpkins. But anyways, I was so enamored with her finishing techniques. And she has her FlossTube channel, but she also has a blog, and she's on Twitter, and I don't know about Facebook. But anyways, go check her out. But I actually will show you what I've done. And I think you're going to... And you know what? For this one... Well, we'll see. I actually went through all of my stash looking for something autumn. You know what? I am going to put this down because this is annoying me. Hold on. I think I want it. Anyway. That really isn't any better, is it? Not any better? I don't know. I'm sorry to play with this light like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so when I went to my favorite thrift shop, that's where I found this plate or saucer, and I didn't really see anything, and then I went to the Goodwill thrift shop, and I found this Christmas tray, and it was $1.99. You can see from the ticket, but it is the galvanized tin or steel or something, and I thought, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. I don't really like the Santa picture on it. No problem. So I bought this, and I went through my stash, and I found, this is Plum Street Samplers, the birthday tart. I'm so sorry about this lighting. So I liked that, and I liked the colors because it was autumnish. So then I went through my fabric, and I found this 28 count Cashel tobacco colored, and it's actually got more red in it or copper in it than it's showing there. And I started stitching on it, and I absolutely love it, but it doesn't, the colors are so different. I pulled the Gentle Arts, and I didn't have all the Gentle Arts, so for those other colors I pulled the DMCs. But I was so absolutely blown away by the difference, because this one color is called Old Hickory. What color do you think of when you think of Old Hickory? You're thinking of a dark wood, a dark brown color. Well, in this, it looks almost tan. And I didn't have Old Hickory, so I pulled the DMC, and it's really a very, very dark brown, which is what I would think hickory would look like. But this, so, and in this, the color that they call for the swirl in the pumpkin is the Gas Old Hickory. It looks like dark brown in here, but in the picture it almost looks like a tan. It's just, yeah. But I actually am liking the way these things are coming together on here. And so, yeah. So this is what's going to be the center of this tin. brought it home and I turned it over, and on my foam core board, I laid it down and I drew a pencil line around it, and then I cut it out, which was a challenge. Then I laid it on. Once again, Sandy Joe's not completely ready for this, but this is quilting batting that I got a long time ago, and I got it on sale and I bought several yards of it. And I drew the same template on this, and it's just a thin batting, very thin. I've used this when I've made my my squares, my dear self, you know, the ones that look like a brick. Yeah, I've used that, used this for that. So I just cut out an oval and I hot glued it around the edges to the foam core board. Then I went through my fabric stash downstairs and I found this autumn leaf fabric. And I thought it was perfect. And it looked really good with the tobacco cashel linen that I have. So I cut out a rectangle of it, and I taped it to hold it while I hot glued it, and then I glued some magnets, and the magnets hold it into the tray. I had been, I had gone, when I had gone up to the Dollar Tree, they had some really pretty stems for $1 a piece of these autumn flowers. So I cut them, the different pieces apart. And I arranged them. I hooked them with a rubber band. And what I think I'm going to do is take a dab, a little bit of hot glue to hold it onto the side. Not onto the fabric, but onto the side of the tray. That way it'll hold, but then when I go to take it apart, I can just peel it off the side. And I think that there's like berries and these things. I don't know what these are, but they look perfect there. And not only that, you'll get an idea. It's not going to look just like this, but because it's not finished, and this will go, crap, okay, that will go there, this will go here, so it'll go there, and it'll match really well with the background of leaves. And then yesterday I went to Hobby Lobby and I found some ribbons, and these all have a little bit of bling to them, but I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to use. This is like I'm looking for something to put this. This is a sparkly copper color. No, that's not working. And I'm thinking about that one for my ribbon for below the flowers. So I've got that one. Then this one is not as wide as the other, but it does have the wire edges, and it goes from a copper to a gold to a bronze color. And I thought that one might work really well too. But when I bought this, and it is a cream colored with different colored, like embossed diagonal lines. And I think I'm going to use this one. And the reason why is because it's lighter. The ribbon itself is lighter in color. And with these being so dark and red and stuff like that, it will actually look much better against, and it'll sort of bring out those reds, and it won't be so dark. Now, how I'm going to hang it on the wall, I've thought command hooks, but I also thought about drilling a couple of holes in it and getting some picture wire so that I can hang it up on the wall. Now, all of these components will be able to come off of the tray so that at another time I can do the same thing but with a different design, a different fabric, and give it a whole different look. It could be a seasonal thing, it could be whatever. I am so excited about this. But this is really, really cool. And it will, I'll put it all together when I get it stitched. I am working on stitching it now. You all know what a darn slow stitcher I am. And it absolutely looks beautiful. And if you go to my blog, which is actually, oh, it's not on my blog yet. I'll put the pictures that I have on my blog. And you guys can take a look at it. And if I can do something like this, you can. This is very, yes, I put it together, but it's absolutely Priscilla's idea, the way it's put together with the magnets and stuff like that. If you haven't gone to Priscilla's site or watched her FlossTube videos, please do. She is so talented. Both her and her daughter are very talented. She had, her and her daughter made a quilt with the Halloween fabric. That's really neat. But I just think that that is so pretty. I love it. My mom was laughing at me. She goes, it's nothing but leaves. You know, one of these days it'd be really nice if I did something and my mother actually said, oh honey, that's just perfect. So, that's what I'm doing right now. Also at the Dollar General, I actually found metal trays. Now these are not as big as that tray, but you could do the exact same thing with it because, look. Needle minders stay on it, so it's magnetic. And it's got a little bit of etching on there, on both of them, but they're metal, so they're going to last a little bit longer. And they were $1 a piece. I should go up there and look and see if they have another one and get it for my price package. But anyways, if anybody has any questions about that, just ask away. I'm happy to share. I'm not real, I love to share my ideas, you know, and yeah, let's see this one. Let's see, you can do this a little bit. But those are the 3 different ribbons, and as you can see, all 3 of them are sort of sparkly, and they're all very pretty. And I got these 40% off. Everything I got at Hobby Lobby yesterday was a percentage off, so I like that. I also bought, so I'm gonna put this up on my entryway, and it's not cross stitch, but. And this was 50% off, so I paid $4.50 for it. And it's wooden. But I love that. Bless our home. I can't believe it's already been 41 minutes. My goodness, Sandy. Okay. So, that needs to go in the trash. Didn't see that. So, you've seen my progress. On that. DMC on there has some freebies, some new freebies available. Mexican Day of the Dead, and it's got like sugar skulls and what else was up there? But they're free. Go to the DMC website. They've I downloaded them yesterday, and really very cool. Very cool. Cowgirl Kate, she's got a new video out. Two new videos out. If you're new to FlossTube, Cowgirl Kate lives in Upper Midwest. She is the wife of a farmer. She helps out on the farm, and she paints, but she does cross stitch, and she loves the Mirabilia and the lavender and lace angels, and she does conversions on them, and she is incredibly talented. So you need to go and visit Cowgirl Kate. And I was really excited to see that she was back. I have a slew of new freebie sites for you, and those will be down in the description box. You can also find links, and I try to put a couple of pictures up there along with the link to the freebies and a description of what you'll find there. So please go there. And in looking for those over the past month or so, I found Daily Cross Stitch, and every day they have a free design. Now they are what I call the color book kind of motifs. There's not shading, and there's not back work, but they have some really stinking cute designs. And you're only with a free membership, you only get one a day. And I went ahead and I paid. They have the unlimited membership, so that you can go back and download as many of the old patterns as you want for $10. And I went ahead, I think it's usually like $36, but I spent the $10 and became a unlimited member, and really and truly cute things out there. Just a variety of different subjects, and I really like it. A lot of them may be great for greeting cards. And that link will be down below. I showed you how to put together that. Okay. The new DMC colors with the tray, $31. I can get the DMC for 59 cents or 60 cents a skein. And those 35 colors would be $20.65 just for the DMC. And they wanted $11 for the special issue tin they come in. I don't need another tin. I've got plenty of tins. Ugh. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, how I stitch with fluffy fibers. Where the heck is it? Oh, it's here. Okay. Fluffy fibers, or those like Santa's beards, the Rainbow Gallery ones, they can be really tricky. I always use short lengths of floss when I stitch with them, which isn't real frequently. I stitch with one strand, short strand, and I only do it over one. Not over one, I should say. I only do like one leg of the cross stitch. And because you can try two, but then the fibers it's just too much. And it's really hard to find the holes to poke your needle through. And I spend a lot of time looking at the back of it when I start getting more of the area filled in, because I have to use my needle to poke it through and say, okay, I need to put it here, and I'll poke it through, and I'll have to look on the back of the fabric, see where the needle comes through, and figure out where that hole is. So one short strand, tent stitch style, I guess is what they call that, like a half stitch. And then when you get done, and I can't find my my nap raising brush, but let me show you. I found one on Nordic Needle. That is what theirs looks like. It sort of looks like the eyelashes closed. Mine actually is a bunch of the little metal things, the brush bristles, the bristles on like a wooden base. But this one was what, $6.25. And no, you be gentle when you brush it up, but you don't really lose the fibers when you brush them up. You can brush them up as much or as little as you want, but you do need to be careful. You could overbrush it and then start pulling out what you're trying to put in. Yeah. But this is what I use. I've also used a needle when I couldn't find my brush. And I will just sort of use the end of my needle to like scruff it up, pull it out, run it multiple ways. And sometimes an area will need a little extra, and I'll use my needle to pull up those fibers. So that's another way you can do it without the brush. You don't have to have the brush. The brush makes it much easier. So, yeah, you wouldn't use your Floss Heaven on it. You wouldn't dampen your fiber. You just use that little brush and gently brush it up. So, any questions about that? You let me know. Okay. We're doing good here, folks. Not quite an hour yet. Okay. done that. And it looks like I've done everything. I did want to mention that apparently there was some big stuff going on, Cross Stitch and Discuss, and with Sue Hillis, because Sue Hillis said something and people took it for something else, which people like to do. Those people who are easily offended do all of the time. And so I thought, so I went to flip over because I was a member, and I hadn't been on there probably in a few weeks. And I went and I flipped over there, and they had blocked me. And I thought, what the hell? Why did they block me? And then I thought, you know, this is ridiculous. I don't want to be part of a petty little group of closed-minded people. This is supposed to be a joyful, happy kind of thing. And they blocked me. They blocked me, and I can't even, you know, if I'm on the search bar on Facebook, when I put in Cross Stitch and Discuss, it doesn't even come up. And I said, be damned, people. You know, it was just shades of what used to go on, like in the late 90s. I will never forget how ugly people can be. And I was on a group, and they just were always, two different boards, message boards, were always bickering back and forth. And it was ridiculous. They would highlight and copy and paste arguments on one board and put them on the other, so everybody could see, and everybody was like constant beehive of activity. And one of the rules was that, you know, there were certain things that you weren't supposed to do. And but those rules didn't apply to everybody. They only applied to certain people. And the sad part of it is there was a lady who lived in Alaska, and she pointed out the hypocrisy of the rules, which I totally agreed with her. And she got booted off, and I defended her, and I got booted off. And then Amy Morgan defended me and her, and she got booted off. And it happened to several other people who were agreeing with the other, you know, with me and this other lady. This other lady, the one that started this, you know, getting us all booted off, which, no, I got myself booted off because it was hypocritical. That woman was going through a very difficult time, and that woman ended up committing suicide. And I was so angry because I thought I had been exchanging emails with her, and I was horrified. And I thought, you know, if more of those people would have been just a little more kind to her, maybe she wouldn't have done what she did. I know that all of that hoo-ha on that message board was not the reason for it, but it, you know, it did help contribute to her state of mind. And I have really and truly begun to have no tolerance for that kind of behavior anymore. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of the groups who behave like that. And so me and Cross Stitch and Discuss, I fart in their general direction. So if you're a member of Cross Stitch and Discuss, more power to you. I've got better things to do with my time. Something else on Facebook. Facebook is just a beehive of all that's wrong with this world. It really is. I was friends with a shop owner who has a cross stitch shop in Michigan. And I'm not going to name the shop, and I'm not going to name the owner, but I enjoyed it because she would post personal things on there, but she also talked about shop stuff. And that's the stuff I was really interested in. Always very kind, but boy, she's a flaming lib, folks. And she really hates the president. I'm not that fond of our president, but he is the president. And whatever you believe about him, you know. But it was last week. This person, the day after the executive order went in, but when they're still discussing, well, what does this mean? There was a post from her telling everybody, this is what this means. And I read that and I thought, how in the hell do you know when the experts don't even know? And I typed that. I replied to that and I said, you're just showing your ignorance because nobody knows exactly what that means. So how do you know? Did President Trump call you up and tell you to, what to say on Facebook? How did you know? And it wasn't the first time. She's made some really disgusting remarks. And I used to buy a lot of stuff from her, and no more. We are no longer friends on Facebook, and there's too many other places for me to go and buy my needlework supplies than her shop. So I'm voting with my dollars. And guys, if you're on Facebook, I'm half tempted just to close that damn account. But the thing is, sometimes that's the only way I hear from some of my family members and some of my friends from work and stuff like that. And I like to keep up on that. And I try really hard not to get drawn into all of these dramas. And actually, I'm not getting drawn into it, but I'll tell you what, it puts me into a tiz for a few minutes. And I don't stitch to get into these tizzes and these arguments. And I also I am of a firm belief, if you have a business and you are on Facebook and you are putting personal things and business things on there, then you need to take extra care with what you say that's not about cross stitch, because you are talking to your customers also. And when you begin to say unkind things or say controversial things, then you are mixing the two. And if you want to have a personal account, have a personal account. If you want to have a Facebook business account, have a Facebook business account. But keep them separate. Don't mix them. So, anyways, enough said. And with that, I've got a couple of oh poop scriptures I want to read to you. The first one is from Proverbs 19:20 through 21. Listen to advice and accept discipline, and at the end you will be counted among the wise. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And this relates to me on several levels. And so I liked that. Listen to advice and accept discipline. That's, yeah. I think I'm getting a lot better at accepting that criticism and stuff like that. And I think about it. I do. A lot of people don't. They let it go over their head. But sometimes there's some validity in what people say. And then the next one, I love this. It's from Matthew 5:11 through 12. Blessed are you when people insult you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in some way they persecute the For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So let me try and reread that. Blessed are you when people insult you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they were persecuted the prophets. For in the same way they persecuted, the prophets who were before you. Sometimes the language reads okay, but then when you go and you speak it out loud, it doesn't. So anyway, I do want to, one thing is to ask for your prayers, is that I did have an interview yesterday at my local CrossFit shop for a part-time position, and there are several ladies who are also interested in it. So I'm really, really excited about it, and I've left it up to the Lord to know what's best for me. I would absolutely love to work at my local needle workshop, which is CC and Company, and they are, if they choose me, they're going to show me how to properly frame things. And I was astounded at the framing process. It's really incredible, and I did learn some stuff yesterday. So anyways, just keep some good thoughts in mind for me, and if this is the right thing for me, I know that it'll happen, because the Lord will make it happen. And so a little bit of a rant there. Forgive me if I don't mean to insult anybody, but I do, anymore in my old age, I don't need that discourse in my life. There's too much of it going on in the world, and even if I disagree with someone, I can speak to them in a way that is not confrontational. However, not everyone is capable of having a discussion. If they have a different view than you, they will attack you, and that's just part of the evil that's in this world anymore. It's very sad. So anyways, I'm going to, because this is an hour and 3 minutes, 4 minutes, so I'm going to say goodbye for now. And I love all of you so much, you know that, and I love you. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much for all your kind words about my last video. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your prayers. It helps so much having my friends there, because I felt you there, and stitching, and yeah. So anyways, God bless you. I love you.